An afterthought, former President John Mahama describes the 111 agenda of government, questioning its ability to revolutionize the country's healthcare delivery system.
It's only after as an afterthought that suddenly they realize that, oh, we must be doing some infrastructure. So Agenda 111 has been conjured.
But President Akufo-Addo says he has a plan to make Ghana the center of excellence for medical care.
Beyond the building of these new healthcare facilities, my vision is to help make Ghana the center of excellence for medical care in West Africa by 2030.
Thank you, His Excellency.
More from him as he launches and breaks ground for the construction of 88 hospitals.
Once completed, it will provide job opportunities for some 20,000 health professionals, and thus enable the Ministry of Health recruit more doctors, nurses.
And Top Story is brought to you by Gasem, the Nation Builder, and Vodafone. Together we can. My name is Ernest Manu. President Akufo-Addo today launched and broke grounds for the construction of 88 district hospitals across the country. The project, scheduled to be completed in 18 months, is expected to deliver to each underserved district a world-class health facility capable of attending to all major ailments. This comes under government's Agenda 111, aimed at improving healthcare infrastructure and also healthcare delivery. But former President John Dramani Mahama has described the agenda as an afterthought. More on that shortly. Today at Treda, the president, in addressing the Durbar, said making Ghana the center of excellence for medical care in Africa by 2030 remains his priority and counted on the Agenda 111 to help him achieve that.
So far, 88 out of the 101 sites have been identified, including this one at Trede, the site for the construction of the Etrima Kwawuma District Hospital. Work on the other 87 sites also commenced today. The acquisition of the remaining 13 sites will be completed shortly for work to begin. Each hospital is being constructed at a cost of 16.88 million United States dollars. That is 12.8 million United States dollars for construction and 4 million United States dollars for medical equipment. All the hospitals are to be completed in 18 months. Work will commence on the regional and other hospitals in the latter part of the year. These modern, fully equipped state-of-the-art hospitals will have facilities for outpatient services, including consultation facilities for medical and surgical cases, ophthalmology and dental services, maternal and child health unit, 4 state-of-the-art surgical theaters for maternity, obs and gynae, accident and emergency. Beyond the building of these new healthcare facilities, my vision is to help make Ghana the center of excellence for medical care in West Africa by 2030.
Thank you, His Excellency. God bless you.
That's President Akufo-Addo there speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony today at Treda in the Ashanti region. But the former president, John Dramani Mahama, has been speaking on his thank you tour. Now, he says government's agenda of Agenda 111 and the plan of revolutionizing the health sector is only an afterthought. Now, he's been explaining an interview on Radio GBC in the Upper East region.
We're criticized by our successors, as overborrowing. But like you were saying, a lot of what we borrowed for was tangible for people to be able to see. From 120 billion cedis total public debt, today we're almost hitting 400 billion, 370 something billion public debt, and what most Ghanaians ask is, what have we done with this money? It looks like most of it has gone into consumption rather than into providing the kind of infrastructure, that we need. It's only as an afterthought that suddenly they realize that, we must be doing some infrastructure. So Agenda 111 has been conjured. There's no transparency how the money is going to be, procured and all that. Is it going to lead to more borrowing, when we already have, such a high level of debt, hanging around the country's neck. But there are also hospitals that we were building. Boga Central Hospital, we did the first phase. There was a little left. We were supposed to get equipment from Saudi Arabia to finish equipping it so that we could utilize the first phase. And we had also programmed the second phase. That has come to a standstill over the last 5 years. There are hospitals in other regions that we were putting up that also have come to a standstill. In many places, the wind has blown up the roofs of the buildings. Fire has burned some of the buildings. It's sad to see something like that because, as I said during the campaign, it's not my money. The money didn't come from John Mahama's pocket. It's our money as a country. And so when it goes to waste like that, I think that it's not something that is it's reasonable.
That is former President John Dramani Mahama. Let's go into the phone lines now and speak to former Deputy Communications Minister and also spokesperson for the former President, Phyllis Kwakye Fosu. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. Let's start with the former President's description of Agenda 111. How is it an afterthought when you remember that President Akufo-Addo last year announced this decision when, in his own words, he realized how exposed we are as far as the healthcare infrastructure is concerned because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the need for us to build more structures to serve the people of Ghana. This must not be an afterthought.
Well, that is precisely the reason why it is an afterthought. The president didn't need to have Ghana afflicted by COVID before realizing that there was a need to improve upon the number of hospital facilities that we have. Anybody who waits for the rainy season to provide a roof over his head is not a person who can describe himself as a visionary. Indeed, this whole talk about 88 hospitals and later 111 hospitals was a knee-jerk response to the plaudits that President Mahama was receiving when it became clear that the investments he made in healthcare and expanding infrastructure in that sector had become the mainstay of the fight against COVID. So President Akufo-Addo was keen to douse those plaudits. And so he rushed into making a promise to build 88 district hospitals in a space of 1 year. He said that the project would start in July 2020 and be completed in 12 months, which is July 2021. Everybody disbelieved what he said. It was met with skepticism and derision. And true to the predictions of Ghanaians, that project did not materialize. Now, after he crossed the Rubicon of the 2021 elections, he now repackages the same thing and says that he's going to build 111 hospitals under Agenda 111, and that this is supposed to bridge the gap in the healthcare facilities that we have. But you see, ordinarily, any effort to ramp up the number of health facilities we have should be welcome because we need all the hospitals we can get. But when we are dealing with a government that is as bereft of credibility in the area as the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, you ought to take what they are saying with caution. This is a president who has gone around the country in the immediate period of the 2020 elections to do so many shortcuttings with a view to building hospitals. Indeed, I can count over a dozen shortcuttings that he did, that he said he had secured money for, and that those monies were going to be used to build hospitals. 1 year after these shortcutting ceremonies, not a brick has been laid anywhere.
Can
I
you
can
give us?
mention
Can
the
you,
Eastern Regional Hospital, the Laguna Hospital, district hospitals at Kwabin, NUSC, Nkotia, Achiase, Edukrum, Jumapo, Kofodia, Eminem, and Shama. All these were sites that the president went to cut short and promised that hospitals will be built that have not been built.
well, Mr.
Again,
Kwajufosu, just on that point, just hold on.
Sure.
Today, the health minister gave us an update of projects that have been completed and those that are still ongoing. I want you to listen to him briefly and
All
get
right.
your reaction to that.
Presently, some district hospitals and one polyclinic in the unlisted locations have been completed and handed over for use. Somanya in the Eastern region, Weta in the Volta region, Tola to Nakalba, Bupe, and Bamboy in the Savannah region, and Tolong in the Northern region. Bekwai District Hospital has been completed in the Ashanti region. Tepa District Hospital has been completed in the Ahafo region, in the Ashanti region. Nsoko completed in the Bron region. Kifu Praso District Hospital in the Central region. Excellency, work is also ongoing, progressing steadily on the retooling and re-equipping of 4 health facilities in this region, namely Com Hospital at Aburi, Tetekwashi Memorial Hospital, Mampodepapim, Chebi District Hospital, and Atibi Hospital. Work is expected to be completed on these projects by November 2021. Excellency, work is also far advanced on the construction and equipping of 6 health facilities in the following locations in the Western region alone: Akontrombra, Elubu, Bogoso, Takwa Nswewim, Wasadumpa, and the upgrade of Umpoho Health Facility. These are due for completion in the second quarter of the year 2022. Excellency, the 45-year-old Ofanwachi Teaching Hospital Maternity and Children's Block Complex has also started. At this time, I can make a firm promise, Your Excellency, that the project will be completed on schedule within your time. Other facilities which have witnessed similar sword-cutting ceremonies and have either started in earnest quite recently or will start within the next few weeks are as follows: the construction and equipping of 12-story maternity and gynae block at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, construction and equipment of urology, nephrology, and kidney transplant center at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, construction and equipment of Tema Sub-Regional Hospital, Nkranza District Hospital, Doma Accident and Emergency Center, and the construction of the Central Medical Stores at Tema. Construction and equipment of 12 new hospitals in the following locations: Jumapo, Kwabin, Nkwetia, Edukrum, Achiase, Suame, Drobonso, Sabronum, Mansun Kwanta, Hwedie, Mib, and Ponkatamanso. Your Excellency, will commence by early September by the contractor, Vamed Engineering. Mr. President, all these projects are in addition to the Agenda 111 facilities that you are about to cut short for the first one to commence at Trade here.
Mr. Kwajufosu, that's the Health Minister Kwekwajuman Manu there, giving us an update of the project that are ongoing.
If you have done a little research about the hospitals that the minister named, almost all the hospitals that have been completed are projects that predate President Akufo-Addo. Indeed, in respect of the Somenya, Fueta, Bupe, Tolon, Bole hospitals, money was secured in March 2016 from the Raiffeisen Bank of Austria, 89 million euros. The contract was awarded to Vamed in September 2016. Indeed, President Akufo-Addo holds a dubious distinction as the only president under the Fourth Republic who does not have a district hospital to his name. None of the hospitals that he says he has cut short for have even started, let alone reach completion. So he does not have the track record or credibility in terms of the delivery of health facilities from start to scratch. Now let's come to Agenda 111. According to the president, each of the district hospitals, at least, is supposed to cost about $17 million. So if you multiply that by the 88 that he says he will build, it should cost $1.5 billion. Yet the president says they have $100 million, which is less than 6% of the amount required to finish these hospitals. Does it sound to you that the president is going to be able to deliver 111 hospitals in 18 months when he has only 6% of the funding that is required? So I think that you in the media must prove further. Given the track record of President Akufo-Addo and his inability to keep promises to start and complete projects, it is important that you ask very, very important questions. The thing that will convince you or I that we are going to do this is the availability of money. The same way he came to meet money for 6 district hospitals and the polyclinics that President Mahama had sought for, and 15 polyclinics, 10 in the central region, 5 in the Greater Accra region, that President Mahama had found money for. You should ask him, where is the $1.5 billion that the Agenda 111 hospital project needs? And why is it that over 1 year, after cutting short for about 12 hospitals, not a break has been laid anywhere? I think that if these questions are answered, it will shed light on the ability of the government to deliver this.
Well, Mr. Pachifosu, the health minister, and this is just a 3-minute sound. When you listen to the health minister, he gives a very long breakdown of works that are ongoing and what government is doing in the sector.
Listen, you can visit any of the sites that he spoke about. If you indulge me, I can forward to you pictures of the project sites. Not a break has been laid anywhere in the over a dozen hospitals that the health minister says this government has started. But as for President Mahama, his record is unassailable. There is no president who has done more in terms of healthcare infrastructure than President Mahama.
Well, that has been challenged. That has been challenged with the introduction of Agenda 111. If indeed the NDC government had provided enough infrastructure, then we wouldn't be faced with a situation where government has to introduce such a huge block of infrastructure development.
Agenda 111 is completed, no government in future would ever have to build additional hospitals. President Mahama has never said anywhere that he has provided hospitals for every single place in Ghana than this one. But what we can say, that he has the best record in terms of the provision of hospitals, in terms of the sheer scale and scope of the investments that he made in the health sector. President Akufo-Addo does not have that record. What we have now are paper tigers. And you are comparing those paper tigers to solid facilities like the University of Ghana Medical Center, the Ridge Hospital, the Bolga Hospital, the Maritime Hospital, the Bank Hospital, the 14 district hospitals, or the 22 polyclinics, and the hundreds of chief compounds that President Mahama has to his name. I don't think that there is any basis for comparison at all. If President Akufo-Addo is able to pull off Agenda 111, all credit to him. But on the basis of the evidence that we have now, the lack of clarity on the funding sources, even the pricing, even the shadiness and the haziness that has surrounded the procurement process around it, leaves grave doubt. And couple that with the abysmal track record of the president, who cut short for projects where not a single break is laid after 1 year. I think that the people of Ghana have to exercise caution in terms of the level of believability that they can place on this promise by the president.
And I was just coming to the issue of cost. The former president cast doubt on the project because he looks at the debt of the country and he looks at whether or not we are able to sustain that and how government would actually secure the monies for this. We are told that there is money for this, but how else, apart from borrowing, was the president expecting that such huge investment would be made in the health care sector?
You see, as a media organization, you should not simply accept flippant explanations. When the president and his health minister tell you that there's money for Agenda 111, you have to ask them, where is the money? I told you that per the cost of each district hospital, the 88 district hospitals alone will cost $1.5 billion. The budget that the Minister of Finance presented does not have $1.5 billion dedicated to the funding of this project. What they have said is that they have $100 million to commence the project. But they need at least $1.4 billion more. They have not given indication how they are going to get this $1.4 billion. And you are accepting a flippant explanation that there is money. If there is money, where is it? Again, we also know that sometimes it is necessary to borrow to finance these projects. But as I speak to you, they claim to have secured funding for the over a dozen hospitals that I mentioned. 1 year after claiming to have secured funding, not a break has been laid. So why do we need to continue to place confidence in the words of President Akufo-Addo. There is a man who stood on national television in his 8th COVID broadcast and told the people of Ghana that within 12 months, he would deliver 88 hospitals. He has not delivered a single one of them. He went to Shama to cut short for a hospital. He said it will cost $41 million to build a 100-bed hospital in Shama. 1 year has passed, not a brick has been laid. The land is bare. You can go there to find out for yourself. So there's a lot of difficulty with what one can believe about the claim that President Akufo-Addo is making. If he delivers these hospitals, it will inure to the benefit of Ghanaians. And I'm sure every Ghanaian wishes him well. But the lack of credibility and the lack of confidence that is associated with this project is a worry. And they have not done themselves any good by failing to give clear indications as to where the money will come from. Or whether the 18-month timeline that the president has given for the completion of 111 hospitals is to be believed.
Mr. Kwachifo, so hold the line for me, and let me just state that we're billed to speak to the Presidential Advice on Health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare. In the last minute, he told my producer that he's unable to speak to us and that government would hold a news conference to address some of these concerns. That is why we do not have any reaction from government on Top Story. But let me go on to the other phone line. We have the president of the Coalition of NGOs in Health, Mr. Bright Emisa, joining us on the line. Mr. Emisa, thank you so much for joining us on Top Story. We have had issues with the health sector, and you as an organization have, on many occasions raised the need for us to invest heavily as far as infrastructure is concerned. Agenda 111 has kicked off today with a groundbreaking ceremony. Your reaction?
Yes, good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers. We welcome the Agenda 111 project for health. And we've been long waiting for when the president is going to break grounds for this project to begin. So when we heard from the Minister of Information, we were very happy until the president has also come to confirm the beginning of this project. But we are still challenged with so many other information. We see the project to be good. We welcome it. We bless the president for even making promises on that. But we still see that the government is too ambitious of this 111 project across the country, and then also not showing too much evidence of where the money is coming from. We are also challenged with a time frame of 18 months to deliver on the 111. We would advise Ghanaians not to put their hearts so much into it to follow. We are only happy that it is coming to bridge the gap in the health sector. But with these ambitious promises of 18-month completion and without showing enough evidence on where the money is coming from, it's very, very challenging to us. Also, we are also aware that there are equally other outstanding projects and then uncompleted projects still within the same sector, which needs to be completed and then be functional. So if new things are starting, it is good because we don't know where the funding for this project are coming from. But the president and the team should come clear to show Ghanaians where this money is and how it's going to work proficiently to get to its completion in 18 months.
We still do not have enough information on the source of funding, but on the timelines given, 18 months, you think this is not feasible?
My brother, if you look at the challenges Ghana is going through amid COVID now, and then going to start fresh 111 projects from the scratch to that tune of amount, you and I would believe and come to the conclusion that it is not too realistic. It would only be realistic if the government is able to show Ghanaians that these monies are coming from this source, and for that matter, straightly for that project. Then we can buy in and then go for it. But if we are going to start this project and then manage it with our own funding, as was mentioned by the Information Minister yesterday, year by year, then of course, if I'm using the seed money, you can raise only 700 million Ghana cedis to start the project. And then it means that in the following year, you are going to raise the same 700 million and cannot complete the work within the 18 months duration that it is being scheduled. So he has to show us a lot of evidence on where the money for the project is coming from, and then in what tranches we are going to come, and then how it is going to go into the work so that the Ghanaians would feel more comfortable. Because it's not only this government, other governments have also made few promises, and then we have seen that they have not been able to meet their timelines. So to us, it is too ambitious to say this and to be done in 18 months.
We saw a situation with the University of Ghana Medical Center, for instance, where the opposition insisted that the project was ready to be used, but government said it wasn't ready and that they needed to equip the facility and get the human resource as well. What would be your advice on these projects, even as grounds have been broken for them to kickstart?
So has that project now been ready? I know the facility is in use in support of COVID management in the country.
That is so.
But is it fully ready? And you see, there are still a lot of work to be done on that facility to its full completion. So we have always said categorically, government upon government, as and when they come in, should complete outstanding projects before they initiate new ones. But you see, it's becoming like, because of political challenge, political game in our country, somebody has started build about 100 chips and so on and forth. So they also want to start something, and then Ghanaians embrace it and actually forget about other things. But that is not the way to go. I think if you can do 40, if you can do 10, if you can do 50, you do that to its full completion, and then another person comes to continue what is supposed to be done. When we have the plan of action there, then people can follow and then work towards that. But if somebody starts and the other person is not willing to get it completed, then I don't know what we are doing to ourselves as Ghanaians.
Thank you very much. That's Bright Emisa, the president of NGOs in Health. Earlier, you had the former deputy communications minister and spokesperson for the former president, Felix Kwachi Fosu. Let me state again that we're able to speak to the presidential advisor on health, Dr. Anthony Siansari, but he told my producer at the very last minute that he's unable to speak because government will hold a press conference to address the issues raised by the former president. That's it for Top Story, brought to you by Gasem.